Morning, my friends. We got a long video to make right here that is so incredibly fun. A book that I heard many times about 10 years ago, and I shared it with you guys a bunch. But I think this one is really in my symbolic language that I don't think is symbolic, but everyone else has my entire life. Then when I figured out all this stuff about actually being neurodivergent, that's the difference between me, is I think I talk in a symbolic language and everyone takes everything literally. So this is a really fun one for me right here. This is right up my alley. This speaks my language. Don't know how anybody could not understand every single bit of it. For it really teaches me to see the way that Morg has to explain it to everyone. So let's have some fun.
Hello, Neogenians. Welcome to Dawn of the New Earth. Today, we are taking a look at one of the strangest and most disturbing gospel ever written.
You know what? See, this is exactly how people would interpret this. Normies that don't speak the symbolic language, you filter everything through your ego. So you have no understanding. You have the understanding of duality. And that is no way to understand any of this whatsoever. Carl Jung's nice, loving, kind people. Oh yeah, those evil motherfuckers, that's who we're dealing with here. You know, Morg's audience is the nice, loving, kind people. So how would they ever understand anything whatsoever through their fake morals, their fake values, fake everything?
The strangest and most disturbing gospel ever written.
And the way that I understand this, I understand it through symbolism. I understand it through all the symbolism that's ever been. All Jewish symbolism is telling these stories already. The geometry of everything is telling these stories already. And that's what we're going to get into with this video is, let's take I'm glad I have it up here. My flower of life that looks like a 5-year-old drew it. Let me see if I can kind of resize it. Doesn't really matter. Because you know these videos where I've been telling you that all the teachings are already baked into the flower of life. This is the source code of reality right here. As you can see, can you see it? That the teaching of do not judge is already baked in here. That's the grand teaching of them all. All teachings lead to do not judge so that we can walk through the door. So literally, this is the foundations of creation itself, and Jesus Christ is the living example of this code. This code speaks the language of every language that could ever be spoke. It speaks the language of nature. It speaks the language of the universe. And for us human beings, it gets put into storytelling. So let's kind of go on with Morg's video, remembering that how Jesus Christ comes, the Christ, comes from the foundations of creation itself. These things are hard science of the soul and of the literal world, because this source code, did we want to figure out quantum mechanics? It's already in here. Everything's already in here. Everything that could already ever be discovered, ever be done, is already in there.
The Infancy Gospel of Thomas, where Jesus unalives children.
Oh, unalives. Oh God, Morg, we really have to do that? Okay.
It describes Christ.
See, you know what's funny about this? This is all done in Jewish mysticism. This is the most heavy Jewish mysticism you'll probably ever hear in your life. You know what the dumbest thing that you could do is think that your fake morals and fake values, you're somehow navigating this with your dumbass morals and values that aren't real. Mine are real. Real love, real compassion, real honesty. But Carl Jung's nice, loving, kind people, they're the most evil motherfuckers that have ever been, and that's Morg's audience here.
Lost childhood, and let's say he's not the most stand-up of child in this text. He's kind of a menace, to put it lightly. So we're going to be taking a look at this text and exploring it and saying, what the hell?
Hold on, Morg. Wait a minute, Morg. You just called Jesus Christ evil. Are you trying to tell me that the nice, loving, kind... Isn't this the problem that we've always had? Hey, Morg, you ever look at your own audience? You ever look at how they're bloodthirsty fucking tyrants onto their witch hunt, thinking that they're better than everybody? I understand why Jesus Christ killed them, Morg. That's the nice guy. Hey, Morg, it's going to be confusing for you figuring out who's actually the nice guy, Morg.
It describes Christ's lost childhood, and let's say he's not the most stand-up of child in this text. He's
compared to what? Compared to what? Carl Jung's nice, loving, kind people that everyone is? Compared to what, Morg?
Menace, to put it lightly. So we're going to be taking a look at this text and exploring it and saying what the hell this thing is even about and uncovering the secrets within it. Now, I already did a main video about the Infancy Gospel of Thomas, but now we are going to dive even deeper and look closer at this text and see what secrets are there for us to uncover. It's going to be really good. It's going to be a wild one. We are way more than a channel. We are here to wake the world the fuck up, so make sure that you hit like, share, and subscribe.
Oh, no, Morg, you're not waking nobody up, Morg.
So that we can spread...
Morg, to wake people up takes creating the mystery school that I did. I don't understand how anybody could recreate the mystery school that I made. The ego... How do you even begin a place of ego destruction where everyone's going to hate you? No one's going to understand any of it at all. How do you even begin what I did? How? Because look at the any other version. Like, hey, Morg, no one's learning anything here. Morg, like, do you know how difficult it is to actually get people to you have to do the impossible? That's what I did.
Like fire. If you want to help out even more, become a member on
like
YouTube.
People could study our mystery school for the next 100 years, the next 1,000 years, trying to figure out what is it and how do you even start it in the first place. They wouldn't even be able to figure it out.
Or Patreon.
You could have Elon Musk and everyone else on the job. They would never figure out how I made the mistake. How did I make the mistake? But everything else looks like what Morg's doing. Everything else is ego stroking. No one, they all learn how to read the manual, but I teach you how to do the thing.
You get access to a lot of great stuff like free downloads on inner
Okay,
transformation.
let's go.
Support. Follow me on Spotify. I have a Spotify channel. You can follow me for
Let's go. Come on, Morg.
Into this thing. This text is called the Infancy Gospel of Thomas. And so we're going to explore it right away, and I'm going to be reading directly from it. And if you want to know where you can read this yourself, you can read it on gnosis.org. Okay? It's gnosis.org. They have a ton of texts there that you can read for free, including the Infancy Gospel of Thomas. Now, this text starts off by saying, I, Thomas the Israelite, tell unto you, even all the brethren that are of the Gentiles, to make known unto you the works of the childhood of our Lord Jesus Christ and his mighty deeds, even all that he did when he was born in our land, whereof the beginning is thus. And then he starts to explain it. Okay, so let's think about this for a minute. There's a couple things that I want to point out. First of all,
like literally, this is Jewish mysticism. You're being told a story of the tree of life. You're being told a story of high fucking mathematics. You're being told a story of the Kabbalah, which leads to the source code, Jesus Christ, the Christ.
If you read the canonical Gospels,
Just like, let me bring it up again. Just like the teaching of do not judge, all the teachings are already in here. All the mathematics, all of everything is already in here. The flower of life, got the stairway of heaven, got the DNA helix. This is, it's going to really make some sense when we start getting into this of what we're listening to and reading. I mean, this it could be as old as the prehistoric cave walls. And this is what the story is that was written in mathematics, that was written in the geometry of the universe itself as they saw the DNA helix unfold from the sky itself.
It's the Gospels in the Bible. There is almost nothing about Christ's childhood. Basically, you know the manger story of Bethlehem. We have the story of his birth. And then we have one quick story years down the road where he's an adolescent. And basically what he does is he begins teaching in the temple, and everyone's amazed at how smart he is.
Understand, when I'm talking about Kabbalah, I'm not talking about the Jews you have ever known. I'm talking about the three wise men, magi, that are the actual real Jews. All the Jews are fake. All the Jews are the scribes and Pharisees and all the people that Jesus Christ are up against. The real Jews are the three wise men. Those are the Jews of Jesus Christ. You know how it's like, oh, Jesus Christ is a Jew. He doesn't match any of the Jews. You know, the Jews that Jesus Christ is like right in line with, the symbolism, the whole entire thing, them bringing him gifts. Jesus Christ is the Jew that the three wise men are. And all of this is like three wise men understandings. If we were born and we were literally taught by the three wise men, magi, Jews, the real fucking thing, this would be just common sense. All of this would be so easily understandable.
Yes. But that's it. After that, it jumps to his ministry as an adult. So there is almost nothing, just that one small story in the Bible itself. So the question is, what the heck was Jesus like when he was a child? What happened as a child? And this text is basically saying, hey, these are the stories of Christ's childhood. So that's one thing to keep in mind. The other thing to keep in mind.
I'm trying to figure out why Morg is doing such a long monologue. It's making our video way too long here. Because Morg is trying to prime his audience that lives in duality. They don't know Jesus Christ, and they know doormat Jesus Christ. They're a bunch of doormat tyrants themselves. So they view Jesus Christ as the same manipulating doormat that they are. So Morg literally has to prime his audience, trying to tell them that it's Jewish mysticism, but then they judge it through their fake morals and values that are really made of witch hunts. So Morg's pretty much telling his audience, don't cancel Jesus Christ. Did he offend your ego with things that you can't understand?
Is that do not confuse this with the Gospel of Thomas.
See?
Okay?
See?
This is the
I was wondering why Morg felt like all of this is going to be like Morg's monologue to cushion his audience and shit. I don't think we'll ever get anywhere with anything because we got to coddle the babies.
Infancy Gospel of Thomas, which is completely different from the Gospel of Thomas. The Gospel of Thomas is a fantastic book. I've done many videos about it. You should definitely check it out. It's great, okay? But don't confuse them. They're very different. Finally, the important thing to understand about this is that the Infancy Gospel of Thomas is not a Gnostic text.
No, it's a Jewish mysticism. It's hardcore.
All right?
Hardcore symbolism. Hardcore. You would be an idiot if you judged it through your intellect.
So this text wasn't part of the study material of the Gnostics. The Gnostics didn't. This is not a Gnostic book, or as far as I know, a book that the Gnostics
Yeah, I know.
studied.
What does it match up with the most out of everything? If we could compare it to anything, what does it match up to the absolute most? The three wise men, the way that they do things, their symbolic language, Jewish mysticism.
Used or incorporated. But nonetheless, we can still find it interesting. So let's continue. So Thomas, the Israelite, is going to unveil the lost childhood of Jesus. And it's pretty fucked up.
It's pretty fucked up. But I have an idea of how I'm the nice person. They're evil. They're the most evil, manipulative, and look at the more they're evil. I'm good. Let me judge Jewish mysticism that I don't understand through my lens of bozoery. Morg, I hate your audience. Can I tell you that? Can I just tell you that I absolutely despise your audience? I hate them.
So here's how it begins.
Nothing can ever get done. Nothing can ever be talked about. Nothing can ever be figured out. No one can just say the truth of anything. What a stupid world full of idiots. The whole world. You can't say we could have been done with this in 1 minute. But all of life is to stroke the egos of retards, absolute just dipshits, the worst. These are the worst people reality has to offer. And we're sitting here going, man, Jesus Christ is so mean, but you're so benevolent. Man, the manipulator you are. Wow, you're the opposite person of who you believe you are. You're totally fucked in every single way. But let's take Jewish mysticism that we don't understand and pretend that we're better than it morally. These people don't even know what morals are. They have the wrong version of everything. How can we ever get anywhere with anything ever? Hate them. Hate them all. Hate all people. Can't do shit. Everything is like this.
This little child, Jesus, when he was 5 years old, was playing at the ford of a brook.
Morg won't even be able to get through 30 seconds without throwing out another disclaimer.
He was 5 years old, was playing at the ford of a brook, and he gathered together the waters that flowed there into pools and made them straightaway clean and commanded them by his word alone. So here we have Jesus. There's a little child, 5 years old, playing by a brook. And he's using...
Yes, and we would understand that nature tells the story of mathematics and human beings tell it through storytelling. And you're looking at high mathematics, you're looking at the tree of life, you're looking at the Kabbalah, you're looking at the flower of life, you're looking at the source code translated into human being storytelling.
Super Jesus powers to gather water together and to make it clean. Now, the first thing that we have to remember with this gospel is that it's highly symbolic.
Yes, highly symbolic. We'll let Morg talk here, but I'm going to show you the flower of life again. Heavy symbolic, because it's this manifest into the real world, as that is the real world, as it's a snowflake at the same time. It's the story of the geometry of source code itself.
this is an extremely symbolic gospel, and you'll see.
See, how would anybody ever understand that it's literally the source code of the world? The source code of creation, it has a source code. And you can change that into human being storytelling. So that's what this is. Like, no one's going to understand it if we just call it symbolic. No one's going to understand what's really... Does anybody understand that there's an actual source code that's like real science? Like, all science is built off of it. Like, Stephen Hawking's so stupid that he didn't use source code to figure out science. He thought he was figuring out mathematics outside of it. Do you know why quantum physics is stupid and doesn't work and they're wrong with it? Because they didn't figure it out through source code. They tried to figure it out some other fucking dipshit way when it's already all in there in source code. Did dumbfuck Elon Musk build a rocket thinking that he's building rockets outside of rockets? He should have used the source code, because all the shit would just be on the same page and make sense with all other science and humanity, since it's all the same and comes from the fucking same place. And there's actually an origin of it.
How it is, you'll understand more and more why that is the case as we continue.
Like, how could you show anybody anything of source code when they think duality is an opinion? It's literally written on your face. It's how your brain's made. Everything in the world has duality to it. It's a law of every single fucking thing on planet Earth. And yet, the brain-dead, idiot, worthless piece of shit human beings, trash, wipe your feet on human beings, they think that somehow that's an opinion.
This idea of Jesus as a little child gathering water and making it clean is likely symbolic for...
oh my God, we got to get through the likely symbol. Likely is literally written out of source code. Likely, the fucking magnitude of stupidity going on here
is likely symbolic for cleansing the spirit. Water is often associated with that. You know, you have water baptism. So making the waters clean could be an allegory.
Right. Yes, Morg. We would be talking about the origins, though. You would be going to the source right now of why baptism would even exist in the first place.
Glory for the cleansing of the spirit. Another thing to keep
in... Morg, you're talking about the thing. We never get to talk about the thing because we're always measuring the hallway. This is the source of why baptism would even be a thing in the first place.
So making the waters clean could be an allegory for the cleansing of the spirit. Another thing to keep in mind is that this is symbolic. I don't take this as literal history.
I know. We literally couldn't make it through 30 seconds without Morg throwing out another disclaimer. I think Morg's going to throw out disclaimers every fucking 30 seconds.
So I don't believe... So whether Jesus actually...
You know how frustrating it is for me, because this is my shit. This is my symbolic language. And for idiots to try to just understand my fucking symbolic language, it's just easy for me. Got no problem with it. Got no problem with all this shit of fake morals and fake values and fake human beings and fake egos and fake intelligence. And they're all evil as fuck, thinking that they're better than everybody. So Morg has to throw out a disclaimer every fucking 30 seconds.
Existed or not is an open question. We don't know for sure that Jesus was a real person that existed.
No, you do. Morg, that's actually proven. The man Jesus Christ, it really doesn't matter, because it all proves itself. Source code proves itself. Everything fucking proves itself. The fact that Jesus Christ has the highest teachings in the land, Jesus Christ, the only one that no one's ever been able to call a hypocrite, I think that's some pretty high credentials, Marg. Worldwide, for as long as time has been, as long as history has been written at the foundations of creation, no one has ever been able to call Jesus Christ a hypocrite. That takes precedent over everything. Let me see. I'm so stupid, I can't figure out if Jesus Christ existed or not. The fact that his teachings are the only thing in the world that aren't hypocritical, Marg, is all the proof anybody ever needed. Every single human being's a hypocrite, Marg. Every single fucking one of them. We can find a hypocritical thing in every single fucking thing that everybody does. The only one who was never a fucking hypocrite. Don't you find that pretty big, Morg? Worldwide, for as long as time has been, no one has ever been able to call Jesus Christ a hypocrite. Don't you think that that's some credentials? Don't you think that it proves? Look at all the people that have died through human history. We can't even prove that they are real. You'll be able to prove Jesus Christ is real before you'll be able to prove you are. What makes you real, Morg? Nothing. Absolutely. The atom is empty. Everything's empty, Morg. What makes you? How can you prove to me that you're real, Morg? You can't. Do you know what proves they're real over you? The teachings that aren't a hypocrite, Morg.
Not is an open question. We don't know for sure that Jesus was a real person that existed. I believe that he did. I don't believe that he did all the miracles described in the Bible.
Morg, those are Jewish mysticism. Morg, those have deep understandings of source code manifest into a man. Morg.
Existed. I believe.
Look at all this maze of duality. Ever since the cataclysm and human beings became real stupid in duality, now they can't think. They can't think and they can't understand anything, because good and evil, the trees of good and evil, has given them a fucking God complex, made them extremely fucking mentally ill. So now humanity's so fucked up after the cataclysm, we literally have to give the tyrants a disclaimer every fucking 30 seconds and go, I don't know what to believe. I don't know what's real. That's due to the cataclysm. Everybody became real stupid with duality as they go, duality is an opinion of mine. I can't understand source code because I think even duality is like the most basic thing that's like right in your face. Like it's something you can't deny. And yet every single human being thinks it's an opinion of theirs. You literally have two eyeballs. You literally have two arms. Your body is literally made of it. And you're so stupid. You think it's an opinion.
I believe that he did. I don't believe that he did all the miracles described in the Bible. And I believe that he was a highly conscious, intelligent individual.
Morg, there's a problem. Morg, it's so funny how Morg has been learning, but Morg still thinks that Jesus Christ was just like a smart man. Morg, Jesus Christ is actually supernatural. Morg, there's no explanation for the teachings that aren't a hypocrite. Morg, if any human being tried to set out to make teachings, there would be something inherently hypocritical in everything, Morg. You wouldn't even be able to get one teaching out without everybody exposing, oh, it's a hypocrite from this angle and that angle and this angle and that angle. And wow, it's one hypocritical nightmare. Then you have Jesus Christ where none of it's a hypocrite. Hey, Morg, Jesus Christ is more than just a smart man. It's source. Look how Morg is confused because he's telling us that the Christ, and he's going to get into it more. He's going to literally tell us that Christ is source code manifest. Well, that's a little bit more than a smart man, Morg. Hey, Morg, instead of trying to figure out, this is the duality that fucks all of you up. Instead of trying to figure out, did Jesus Christ live or not? The proof is his teachings. The proof is his teachings that you can't stand up to, Morg. And you wouldn't be able to make your own teachings. You'd figure out that you'd be stealing from the author of truth. Morg?
I believe that he was a highly conscious, intelligent individual trying to spread enlightenment.
We're trying to spread enlightenment. Morg, that sounds so fucking stupid.
That B saw him as a threat to their order and killed him. That's what I believe about Jesus.
No, here's the difference between you and I, Morg. I don't believe. I read it from the source code itself. I see how the teaching of do not judge came from it. I see how all the duality is explained through it. I explain every story of the world is already in the flower of life. Every single thing that could ever be done, every single thing that could ever be told, it's already in there. It's already in there.
As a highly
you don't need to talk about whether you believe in things. You don't need to believe in things.
Enlightened.
It's already there. It's already there.
And who tapped into the Christ function within himself, became enlightened, and wanted to help other people do the same. And then the powers that be were like, can't have that, gotta off him. So that being said, the reason why I bring that up is because this, like the Infancy Gospel of Thomas, I don't believe it literally happened.
I don't think we're ever getting into it, guys. Morg has just moved from its Jewish mysticism source code manifest. We're never going to get anywhere because Morg has to coddle the fucking babies. Like, we're not even getting 30 seconds of information and then a big disclaimer. It's just turned into one hypocritical fucking nightmare. Because that's what their duality is. Literally might as well just be the socialist convention here.
The Infancy Gospel of Thomas, I don't believe it literally happened. I don't believe that literally Jesus as a child was doing these miracles and killing children and all that. I believe that it's highly symbolic and metaphorical, and that will become more and more apparent as we go on.
He's got a hard time. All these people are going to have a hard time because Jesus Christ is getting rid of evil. But they believe themselves to be perfect people. These perfect, moral, just people that believe that Jesus Christ was like a charlatan, that was like an enlightened person. They don't see the magnitudes of his teachings, that no one's ever been able to stand up to them. Anybody could stand up to any of you. But look at them in all their evil, try to dethrone Jesus Christ. Look at them in all their evil. When Jesus Christ was killing you all, that was called taking out the trash. That was called doing good when Jesus Christ was murdering you.
So Jesus is playing in a brook, making the waters clean, likely an allegory for something like the cleansing of the spirit. And it continues. And having made soft clay, he has some soft clay, he fashioned thereof.
Yeah. And if you were going to take that to source code, we would be doing the thing. We would be actually talking about where all these things came from. They think it's a story about it. Look at the difference. There's the real thing here, how it all came about, what it's about. They can't do that because they think that they're reading a manual of it. They think that they're reading a story that they get to judge when they're really reading a wiring schematic. Like, that's the way to understand this. We're reading a fucking electrical diagram. And who would be so fucking stupid to think that a wiring diagram is like, oh, it's talking about voltage and amperage and fucking Ghostbusters and crossing the streams. It's talking about shit like that. It's talking about tools on the construction site. And these motherfuckers think that it's, My duality, my judgment, my trees of good and evil have made me crazy and stupid. I think that everything's a moral judgment when it's really explaining an electrical wiring diagram.
He has some soft clay. He fashioned.
Like, hey guys, what would it sound like if you tried to turn an electrical diagram into a story? Wouldn't the story kind of sound like this?
Thereof 12 sparrows. So he's gathering up the mud and the clay.
Yeah, and it would be like, oh, we're also telling the story of music theory. Yeah, because we're telling the source code story for everything. We're telling the story of all mathematics, all human experience, how it was one and the same.
And out of the clay, he creates 12 little sparrows. 12 clay sparrows. First of all,
like if I was going to ask you to take music theory, all 12 notes, and write a human being sounding story of it, wouldn't it sound like this?
Oh, cute little Jesus. He's about to be not so cute, but as of right now, cute little Jesus making sparrows out of clay.
Also understand that the high mathematics version is the Jewish version. The storytelling version is the Gentile version. So if you are literally like the Magi Jews, well, you would easily understand all of this as it's a symbolic language. Then the dumbass Gentile, dumber than fuck motherfucker, thinks that all these are like literal stories. Because the Gentile gets the story version, and the Magi Jew understands how all of this is mathematics in the fucking Kabbalah.
But remember, this is likely...
How stupid would you be to filter it through a wiring diagram? A fucking wiring. You're filtering a wiring diagram, trying to put moral judgments on a fucking wiring diagram.
Symbolic for the 12 disciples. This is sort of foreshadowing, symbolically, the 12 disciples. The 12...
Like maybe if people knew, like maybe we need to get rid of the word symbolic. Maybe if people literally knew, okay, let me show you a wiring diagram. And then what would the story look like if you wrote a human being story out of a wiring diagram? What would it sound like? What would it look like?
Followers.
Like maybe we need to actually show people what this word symbolism means. It's a language. It's not opinions. It's not how you think opinion. Duality is an opinion.
Of Christ. And don't get me started on how all that corresponds to the 12 signs of the zodiac, etc.
Yeah. Hey, Morg, look how you're telling us, Morg, that it's source code. Hey, Morg, look how it pertains to everything. It pertains to music theory. It pertains to the disciples. It pertains to the Mayan calendar, zodiac. We can just keep going with this, Morg, because it's the code of every fucking thing. So, no, we shouldn't get you started because you would never stop, because you would end up rattling off everything that has ever fucking been.
Started on how all that corresponds to.
So look at the ignorance of Morg going, look, don't get me started. It's the zodiac. Of course it is, Morg. Of course it is. It's every fucking thing, Morg. Like, come out of the blindness, bro. It's not only it's music theory. Also, it's not only, well, don't get me started on the zodiac because you'd get me started on everything.
All signs of the zodiac, etc. All of this stuff.
Do we understand that all of reality literally has a code as like Einstein's E equals MC squared? Like we're gonna go, okay, Einstein's real smart. He has it's this elaborate code that explains all this shit. And then it's just reduced down to E equals, and do we not know that that's the fucking flower of life? Do we not understand anything whatsoever?
Symbolic. Okay? So, he makes these 12 sparrows, but it says, and it was the Sabbath when he did these things. And there were also many other little children playing with him. So you The Jewish law of the Sabbath is very strict. You are not allowed to do any work on the Sabbath. There is a story in the Bible about a guy who picked up some sticks. I forget why exactly. I don't know if it said why. I forget. It's been a while since I read the story. But he picked up some sticks on the Sabbath, maybe as firewood or something.
Yeah, it sounds like an electrical diagram, and there's something about the seven, just like in music theory. Seven is the dissonant note, and there's something about that there is an electrical discharge. There's something that happens on the seven, and you don't do a certain thing with electricity on the seven, whatever that is, so that you don't get electrocuted. Because that's the story represents things like that.
But he picked up some sticks. God,
like, hey, how does this make sense in your stupid ego version? The guy was picking up sticks and then Jesus Christ killed him. Doesn't it sound like a story of electricity and you don't do something? And whatever the seventh is, I understand what it is in music, so it's going to pertain to the same shit. Yeah. Like your human being, like trying to view all these things through your morality is fucking ridiculous.
Sabbath, maybe as firewood or something, who knows? But he picked up some sticks. God killed him often for picking. So
they also represented God as like lightning bolts and electricity and all kinds of shit. This is different than like Jesus Christ bringing the New Testament. This is more of like Sumerian shit. This is more of like the code of the universe right here.
The Sabbath is very, very strict. And so making things like sparrows.
Doesn't this change at all if you realize that these stories come from like earlier than the Sumerians?
And so making things like sparrows would be breaking the Sabbath, which is a big no-no.
Yeah, and that wouldn't make sense through all of your trees of good and evil. You would never be able to make sense of that viewing it through the lens of good and evil. You'd never make sense of any of this thinking that it's some kind of moral judgment.
And it says right here, and a certain Jew, when he saw what Jesus did, playing upon the Sabbath day, departed straightway and told his father Joseph. So a Jewish individual sees that Jesus is breaking the Sabbath, and he goes to tattle and tell his father Joseph. Now, again, allegorical. This is likely foreshadowing what happens later, because in the canonical Bible, when Jesus is an adult and ministering, he breaks the Sabbath all the time, usually to heal people. He's always breaking laws or going against the established system in some way. And the Jews would always get mad at him. Like, what are you doing healing on the Sabbath? And Jesus is like, look, if it's a sin to heal on the Sabbath,
do you know why Jesus is doing? Do you know what Jesus Christ compass is? Whether things fit source code or not. So Jesus Christ is alerting us to there's something wrong with the Sabbath, that it's not following source code. That's the whole thing. Do you know how Jesus knows if he's right or wrong? Whether it fits source code or not. As Jesus Christ is the perfect man, manifest from the source code itself.
And the Jews would always get mad at him. Like, what are you doing healing on the Sabbath?
We live in a world where we were taught, don't do anything on the Sabbath. You'd be a real bad boy. You wouldn't be fitting source code. Then Jesus Christ goes, you guys are interpreting source code wrong. There's nothing in source code that says to not do anything on the seventh. So
Sabbath. And Jesus is like, look, if it's a sin to heal on the Sabbath.
No, to understand it correctly, Jesus said, "There's nothing in source code. You guys are understanding source code wrong. There's nothing in the source code that says let human beings die on the Sabbath. Let a sheep fall in the pit, which is also symbolic language. Don't let the sheep fell in the pit on the Sabbath. Then Jesus Christ said, fuck your rules. I'm going to go and get that sheep out," which represents thoughts. The sheep represents your own thoughts.
Right.
Jesus Christ got your thoughts out of the pit on the Sabbath. This shit is so in depth. This shit is so beyond understanding. I barely grasp this as it's my jam, as it's my language, as this is easily understandable for me. I barely grasp this shit. It's so far over my fucking head. And I sit here looking at fucking retard human beings that could never make it past step one of any of this shit whatsoever.
And the Jews would always get mad at him. Like, what are you doing healing on the Sabbath? And Jesus is like, look, if it's a sin to heal on the Sabbath.
Doesn't it make sense now? Doesn't it just make sense, though? Doesn't it change everything, as in just making it make sense? Like, when things make sense, you can actually do the thing. Like, when things make sense, you can actually understand them because now they're making sense, and before it didn't make sense. So how did we understand any of this before? To understand it is to understand Jesus Christ is going, no, I make things fit source code. And then they thought that you can't do anything on the Sabbath. You'd be going against source code. And then Jesus said, no, you're interpreting source code. If you have to understand that what Jesus Christ is doing and why. He's saying if it doesn't fit fucking source code, then it's wrong. It's defective. If you're a human being, you're building a kingdom divided. You're creating a self-loather.
I forget what his wordings were. His wording was exactly, but basically he's like, you guys don't understand what God really wants if you think I shouldn't heal someone on the Sabbath.
Look, another one. What God really wants, that doesn't make sense in your moral framing of dipshits. No, what God wants, God. Jesus brings unknowable God. But if we were going to say what God wants, you're supposed to be matching source code. So when things do not match source code, they're out of balance and out of harmony, and that's where things get backwards and we become the opposite of who we believe we are. We make the shadow closet. We make a kingdom divided. We make an enemy of ourselves, believing that I have the moral upper hand on it, and you're all idiots.
So this theme of Christ breaking the established law is likely foreshadowed.
Then don't you guys get it? The source code that they're running on is duality. Jesus Christ is the purple seed man from the purple door. Let's look at the flower of life again. Do you see right here? Look at the screen right now if you're not looking. Do you see how this is actually the all-seeing eye right here? It really belongs at the top. We're looking at the Kabbalah right now. The Kabbalah, all of it comes out of the flower of life. This is the all-seeing eye right here. You see how the duality comes together? I mean, this is a sacred shape right here. If I was to show you how this is done just all through Egypt as two wings right here, this right here, the red, the two little beans right here, the seeds, these right here, they depict these as angels' wings right here. One angel right here, and then another angel on the other side. And these are the wings of the angel, and it creates the Christ child in the middle, the purple seed of creation itself. It all starts to make sense when you understand that you're looking at a story of source code of creation itself that manifested the Christ, because all of those teachings are already in there. They're in a symbolic language for nature. They're in a language for everything that could ever be done. Then for us human beings, we tell it in stories. So all these stories that you are literally hearing is the story of the purple seed, the flower of life, the stairway to heaven, the Jacob's ladder, the DNA helix, all the bozory, all the mental illness is created by the duality. See, human beings aren't supposed to operate in duality. Human beings are supposed to operate in the purple seed. So what if a human being took on the fracture of duality itself, and they thought in duality when duality is the code for nature? So you would really be one fucked up animal if you operated in duality and not the man at the door. That's why it's the animal kingdom. That's why human beings are animals, because they run on the duality system. The scribe Pharisee goes, the law, it gives me the ability to judge one thing against everything in a big hypocritical nightmare, because I don't know source code. I think source code is duality. Yeah.
This idea of Jesus as a child breaking the Sabbath by creating these 12 clay sparrows.
Doesn't it sound so stupid now that you hear him go, 12 clay sparrows, and you realize we're talking about a fucking wiring diagram?
So this is what that tattletale said to Joseph. He said, lo, thy child is at the brook, and he hath taken clay and fashioned 12 little birds, and hath polluted the Sabbath day. Oh my God. The horror. And Joseph came to the place and saw, and cried out to him, saying, wherefore dost thou these things on the Sabbath, which is not lawful to do? In other words, Joseph is saying, hey, Jesus, what the hell? You know that you're not supposed to do these things on the Sabbath. Why are you doing them? And so here's what Jesus does. It says, but Jesus clapped his hands together.
And Jesus said, oh, you stupid, evil, fucking dipshit retards that don't know what anything is. You follow a script. You don't know why you do anything. You don't know what anything is. And then you try to judge me morally of things that you don't even fucking understand.
And so
I'm making me some water back there. I'm making me some hot water this morning.
here's what Jesus does. It says, but Jesus clapped his hands together and cried out to the sparrows and said to them, go. And the sparrows took their flight and went away chirping. And when the Jews saw it, they were amazed and departed and told their chief men that which they had seen Jesus do. So Joseph is pissed at Jesus and says, Jesus, why are you messing with the Sabbath? You know you're not supposed to do that. And Jesus's response is to transform the birds into real birds and have them fly away, which basically the logic here is like, what do you mean I made clay birds? There's no clay birds here, just real ones. So that's sort of the idea.
It's so weird how I know this book like the back of my hand. I know this book like before I was born. Like, this book is my shit. This book right here. I like this feels like home to me more than anything else in the entire fucking world. Man, this book right here felt like I've always known this. I feel like the first time in my life somebody's speaking to me in my fucking language.
Real birds, so can't get mad at me for making clay birds because they're real.
And look how the whole world looks at my language. Look at how the whole world can't understand any fucking bit of it and judges it through their duality. Makes it, they're idiots. They can't understand any of it. They think they're morally superior than everything. And you'd look real stupid if you did that with the wiring diagram.
They flew away anyway, so the evidence is gone. But again, this is likely symbolic and allegorical for the 12 disciples, Jesus giving them spiritual life, like he gave the 12 sparrows life. Jesus giving the 12 disciples.
Like even the word symbolic, and I'm choking on my cigar over here. Fucking harsh. Is that even everyone's scapegoat? Like, not understanding the word symbolic literally means we're taking a wiring diagram and transforming it into human beings storytelling. Like, do human beings even think that all of that is opinion? That everything's just fantasy? Nothing ever meant, and they believe that they're false judgment, and they think that that's real. They think that they're like masters of the universe they don't even understand how they're backwards. They don't even understand how their morals, these things that they hold so high, aren't even the real version of any of it. Like, wow, man, we're really stupid when it comes to human beings here.
Through the transmission of knowledge, spiritual life, and having them go out and preach the gospel.
Your spiritual life. Do you even know what that means? It means aligning yourself with source code. It means that you have the wrong version of do not judge. So we should go learn what that is. And then we did that. So hopefully everyone should know what do not judge is now. And you know how much we missed the mark. How wrong all of humanity is with all of this shit. They have it all wrong. They don't know what humble is. They don't know what do not judge is. They don't know what any of it is. And they have it all wrong. And they think they're somehow navigating this with moral superiority, but they have it all wrong. How can you use that as a guide? How can you use that as a compass? But I realize every word I say is so far above the heads of retards.
The 12 sparrows flying out into the world. All right, but here's where it's going to get kind of dark.
Oh no, it's going to get kind of dark. Our moral judgment will come in and we won't understand how we're looking at a wiring diagram. Oh, it's going to be so moral. Ooh, let me use my moral superiority on everything.
But the son of Annas the scribe was standing there with Joseph. And I
sure hope this is going to make me happy. Please tell me this is a part where Jesus Christ fucking kills one of you. Please, that's the only hope that there is in the world. Like, please, Jesus, kill these motherfuckers. Please do. Please do.
Of Annas the
fuck, they think Jesus Christ is the evil one.
Scribe was standing there with Joseph. And he took a branch of a willow and dispersed the waters which Jesus had gathered together.
Yeah, Jesus gathered the clean water. He made it clean after all of you motherfuckers do all your depraved shit. And there's a story of Jesus Christ cleaning the water, and then you pollute it again. Isn't the story of the still water and it looks like a mirror? Like we're dealing with oh, you can see yourself in the water and it's clean water. And then you have one of these depraved human beings with all of its judgment and all of its bullshit thinking that it's fucking greater and better than everybody. And I hope Jesus Christ kills him. I really do.
So this other kid, son of a scribe, takes a stick and messes up the water. Jesus had gathered together.
Look, guys, look at the story. Isn't it clear? Isn't it lining up with every story? We're looking at the source code of every story of the water's still and you can see yourself in a mirror. So that's the whole thing of Jesus Christ, seeing yourself in the mirror. The mirror takes you to the road to Damascus. And then you have this fucking stupid human being coming up and roughing up the water, making the mirror distorted. I hope Jesus Christ kills him for that. Understand how big that is? The symbology going on here is you're a human being that can look at yourself. You can see yourself in the mirror. So that means you align with source code. Then the person comes up and scrambles up the water, distorts the water so you can't see yourself. So you're seeing a distorted version of yourself that you're filtering through the ego.
Takes a stick.
I mean, it couldn't be more obvious. It couldn't be more of my jam here.
Son of a scribe takes a stick and messes up the water. Jesus had gathered together this water and made it clean using his magic Jesus powers. And this kid...
using his magic Jesus powers? You're such an idiot, Morg. He made the water still. He made the water reflect like a mirror so people could see themselves. And then the dude came and roughed up the water so that people couldn't discover themselves, so that they couldn't go through the door. Jesus Christ was making the reflection. And they came and scrambled it up to say, basically the guy came up and said, you're not allowed to know yourself. The one rule of planet Earth is we have to get rid of the mirror. The mirror hurts people's feelings. The mirror takes people on a road to Damascus. The mirror shows people how they're the opposite of themselves. So somebody with Trump derangement syndrome came down and roughed up the water so that nobody could know themselves. Nobody could see their own reflection in the water. Then I'm thinking, man, I hope Jesus Christ, my buddy that never lets me down, killed this motherfucker.
And messes up the water. Jesus had gathered together this water and made it clean.
Jesus restoring source code. Jesus showing how source code is a mirror that reflects you. Jesus Christ teaching you how to turn your whole life into self-reflection so you're not a raging hypocrite, a narcissist, a self-loather anymore. It's kind of a lot here. Just in this little whimsical thing that people would just dismiss, don't understand. Morg, I would think Morg would understand this more than anybody. But I'm let down by it. The only one that doesn't let me down is Jesus Christ.
And messes up the water. Jesus had gathered together this water and made it clean using his magic Jesus powers. And this kid took a stick and messed it up. Dispersed the waters. Kind of like if you were to make a sandcastle and a bully came along and kicked it over. It's that.
Oh, he thinks Jesus Christ is a bully. Oh no, the other way around.
Make a sandcastle.
But he'll make it out like Jesus Christ is the bully because everyone's so nice, loving, and kind. They're such great people that live in a perfect world.
And a bully came along and kicked it over. It's that sort of energy. And when Jesus saw what was done,
he killed the motherfucker. Oh, what a beautiful fucking day. What human beings actually fucking deserve.
He was wroth and said unto him, O evil, ungodly, and foolish one, what hurt did the pools and the water do thee?
Do you understand how big this is? The fucking retard dude got his feelings hurt by the mirror. The same thing that happens to all human beings. He got his ego offended. He decided that everything was offensive. And Jesus Christ said, how's the mirror hurting you? Because you have a belief system? Because you believe in a bunch of fake shit? And the mirror showed you how you're a liar? Oh, I could. Do you understand why the guy roughed up the water? He has Trump derangement syndrome, and the truth was told to him. So he lashed out as the bully, the tyrant that he is, Morg. How can you not see this, Morg?
It's done. He was wroth and said unto him, O evil, ungodly, and foolish one, what hurt did the pools and the water do thee? Behold, now also thou shalt be...
Like basically going, yeah, what hurt you about a road to Damascus? Why did it hurt you? The mirror shouldn't hurt you. The mirror should be reflecting you back to you. Oh, the problem is you're the opposite of who you believe you are. So for you to see the mirror, it's a road to Damascus. For you to see the mirror, you fall off your horse like Paul. You're blind. The whole entire thing, it's a very traumatic thing to see the mirror. We call it the dark night of the soul. And Jesus says, why are you even having that reaction in the first place? The mirror should be a joyous thing. You should enjoy seeing yourself in the mirror. You should look at yourself and tell yourself you're pretty. Because that's okay when it's source code. That's not ego. But human beings have vanity of the dual pillars. Don't we get this story is about a story of the pillars and the man in the mirror? The man at the door?
Withered like a tree. And
It's a story of the two hemispheres of the brain. And then the middle door that we used to call like the pineal gland of Horus door thingy. That's really the purple seed man from the door.
Also, thou shalt be withered like a tree, and shall not bear leaves, neither root nor fruit. And straightway the lad withered up.
Makes me so excited. I remember this like it's my life itself. I literally, this is like this book, it's like a memory. I literally remember doing this. Why why did it stop?
Holy. Completely.
Oh no, we're not going to play games. No, the only winning move is not to play. As a neurodivergent person, I don't do any of your social contracts. I don't do any of that whatsoever. Fuck, I'd kill you just like fucking Jesus Christ.
But Jesus departed and went unto Joseph's house. But the parents of him that was withered took him up.
Do we even understand? Morg doesn't even understand what the dude did. It's the basic story of the pillars and the man at the door. It's the same. It's really the same scene as in Jesus of Nazareth, as in the scribe Pharisee goes, the law gives me the ability to judge everything against everything in a hypocritical nightmare. And then Jesus Christ says, do not judge. It's the same fucking story. Jesus Christ makes the water like a mirror. He shows the door. Jesus Christ is showing the door by making the water like a mirror. Then the dude has Trump derangement syndrome and goes, no pillars. No, the mirror is hurting me. My law is the pillars. I judge one man again. And then Jesus Christ killed the motherfucker like he should.
Parents of him that was withered took him up, bewailing his youth, and brought him to Joseph, and accused him, for that thou hast such a child who doeth such deeds.
Oh, now they're all trying to form a witch hunt against Jesus Christ. Here's the origins of witch hunts. So the nice, loving, kind people that are evil as fuck have decided that they're the good guy. We have the story of how they're the bad guy, Morg. Morg doesn't understand the story of Jesus Christ making the water like a mirror and the other dude roughing up the water so that no one can ever discover themselves. It's the same as Jesus Christ saying, "You do not enter yourselves and you do not let others enter." By Jesus Christ making the water like a mirror, he's opening the door to everyone. He's giving everyone a way in. And then the scribe Pharisee comes up and goes, no, that the mirror hurts people's feelings and we need to protect their fucking egos.
We have here this story.
And then Jesus Christ did the most nice, loving, kind thing that he could do. He took out a double-barrel shotgun and killed old Yeller with fucking rabies.
Of the child messing up the waters that Jesus has gathered together. Jesus is like, "What the fuck, dude? You're withered." And so
exactly. You don't understand that story, Morg. You just think he was that doesn't even make sense. Gathering waters? Like, how would you gather it in a bucket? Like, how is he gathering? He wasn't gathering water together. He was making it like a mirror. You know how we know that? Because the intention of the other guy was to rough it up so that no one could see their reflection in it.
Withers up.
It didn't say that he made it dirty. It said that he came with a stick and roughed up the water so you couldn't see your own reflection in it anymore. And he did. You understand how big this is in source code language? Like, what you've actually done?
The parents are like, "Oh shit, my child has..."
Do you understand this in a language? If we were talking about making electricity work, and what you just did to make it so electricity hurt your feelings. Oh no, it was a mirror that showed you to yourself, so you had to ruin electricity for everyone else. Kill that motherfucker.
Withered, that's really weird. And Joseph, why the hell is your kid doing stuff like this? So...
because you deserve it. Because you're the nice, loving, kind people.
A couple things.
Look at Morg. Look at Morg think that he has to throw out another disclaimer. Morg thinks that he's protecting Jesus Christ, and he doesn't understand the stories.
Once again, if you take this to be historically true...
If you took this to be historically true... It's a maze. It's a maze that they can't even begin to fucking navigate.
Things. Once again, if you take this to be historically true, yeah, that's awful. Jesus is being...
what would it matter? It's a story of a mirror and somebody distorting the mirror. It's like, doesn't even matter. It's such a part of the human condition. It is such a real story with real morals and real values and the real fucking thing, but none of you can see it.
Being a little asshole.
Oh, hey guys, Jesus Christ is being an asshole because he was restoring source code for you so that you could see yourself in the mirror. You like the criminal. You like the one that fucked up the waters so that made it so that no one can know themselves. No one can discover. That's the good guy. The one that ruined it for everyone with Trump derangement syndrome. Okay, Morg. Okay, that's the good guy. It's Antifa. Literally. It's how a communist tries to shut down the means of production. And Morg's like, that's the way that the communist shut down the means of production, made it so no one could ever discover themselves, muddied the waters. Man, what a good guy. He resembles me.
A couple things. Once again, if you take this to be historically true, yeah, that's awful. Jesus is being a little asshole. But as we'll
and that's what they say about me. Huh. They think I'm the identical asshole that Jesus Christ is.
It's going to become more and more apparent, especially as we go on, that this is allegorical and symbolic for something much deeper. But we can kind of already get a feel for that right now. Because what this is representing is someone who, remember, the waters likely represents the cleansing of spirit. And so you have this kid who is...
the water represents a mirror, just as all stories tell, Morg. Let's use pattern recognition like a neurodivergent person would. Obviously, the water represents the mirror.
Versing the waters, that is one who is basically like polluting spirit.
Yeah, no, it's more. Yes, you're right, Morg, and I knew you would be right, but you're not right. You're not right because you don't understand the mirror. It's a road to Damascus. It's a mirror so that we can see ourselves, so that we can go through the door.
One who is basically like polluting spirit. And so what happens to him is he becomes withered up and doesn't bear any leaves or fruit.
It must be that source code gives us life, and this is how you become a dead man.
And this idea of fruit
No, not an idea, Morg. Not an idea.
Trees is all over the Bible. There is another story in the Bible where Jesus...
why everything is an opinion to them? Everything is an idea because they don't know what the thing is. They know how to read the manual. If you only know how to read the manual, measure the hallway, you don't know any fuck, you think everything was that like an allegory symbolism thing that doesn't pertain to anything? Like, do you not know how it's actual life?
It makes a tree wither up. And he talks in Gnostic Gospels about fruit-bearing trees. And so what does that mean? Well, a tree that bears fruit is one that produces spiritual nourishment.
Exactly. Jesus Christ is teaching life is self-reflection. Life is being able to self-reflect on everything in life. So when you watch a movie, you use it to self-reflect on yourself, to learn about yourself. You use life. And if you're not doing that, then you're not learning. You're a dead man walking. Your fruit is rotten. So yeah, it's all told right there through the parable of the clean water versus the muddy. And how does the water get muddied? Through narcissistic personality disorder.
In Gnosticism, this is tied
to... The problem is narcissistic personality disorder gets violent with source code.
Knowledge. Because you have the tree of knowledge that bore the fruit that woke Adam and Eve up when they ate from it, according to Gnostic texts. So you have this idea of, and in another Gnostic text called the Apocalypse of Adam.
I'm gonna have to go get weed. I'm gonna go grab my bong. I'm gonna have to get some weed here. Now Morg is saying that they woke up when they ate the trees. It was a worldwide cataclysm that put humanity in duality. There was nothing positive about them eating the trees of good and evil. That's the whole reason we're all in this predicament. It's the whole reason for this thing we're calling the human condition, where people think all this shit is about morals and values. That's the defect, is you motherfuckers thinking a fucking wiring diagram is somehow tied up in your fake fucking morals.
It says that great illuminators will come upon the world and spread fruit-bearing trees. And these illuminators are those who have achieved higher states of consciousness and are spreading that information. Like what we're doing here on this channel, what you're doing when you share this video, that's producing fruit. You're spreading knowledge, you're spreading information.
No, you're not. No, I'm trying to get my bong and shit. No, you're not spreading information because all of you read the manual. None of you know how to do any of this, what it is. Morg, the only thing your audience wants is definitions. They think that by memorizing definitions makes them morally superior to everyone. That's the problem.
So a tree that withers and does not bear fruit is one that is spiritually empty. It has nothing to give, no nourishment to offer. And so this child
Doesn't
who
it?
polluted
I'm trying to look for my lighter here. I need to get the weed going. But
spirit by dispersing the water.
like, doesn't it just make sense that we're talking about the purple seed man from the flower of, look at all this talk about trees and all the, because you know why we're talking about seeds and trees, and because we're talking about the seed of creation, that the Christ is the seed of creation itself, and the duality is the death.
Becomes withered like a tree. Meaning someone
like,
who...
Let's come out of the ignorance a little bit and let's see how all the stories were the same story. It was all the fucking same fucking story. Like, all of this can be equated to the part in Jesus of Nazareth. The scribe Pharisee. The law gives me the ability to use everything against everything in a massive hypocritical way because I'm an idiot. And then Jesus Christ says you should not judge. All stories were that story. Every single fucking story is that fucking story. The story of Jesus Christ made the water like a mirror, and then the dude did his duality pillars thing. It's identical fucking story. It's all identical. It's the same fucking story. It doesn't matter if you're watching Silver Spoons or Punky Brewster, or you're watching a AAA movie, or you're fucking listening to the Bible. It's all identical. It's all the same fucking story. You people are confused by the masks that things wear. You're confused. You think the details mean something, and you can't literally come out of the ignorance. Holy shit.
Who follows darkness rather than spirit is not going to have any fruit to bear. Like I said, later on in the text, it's going to be way more clear, because
will it be as clear as how Jesus Christ made the water like a mirror?
Spoiler alert, later on, Jesus is going to unwither this child.
No, wait a minute. No, Jesus, well, hold on a second. Wait a minute. Morg's thinking that we're all being good people here. Jesus is going to unwither the kid? Why? I thought he was better off dead.
Jesus is going to unwither this child and give some explanation to it. But as of right now, not so much. This child is withered. But you can see understanding it symbolically is completely different from understanding it in a literal historical sense. If you're understanding it...
I understand this through them carrying the ark that we literally have artifacts of. The Ark of the Covenant, them carrying it through the desert. Then one of the motherfuckers came down with TDS on the way of them carrying the ark. And you know what they decided? The only winning move is not to play, and they just killed the motherfucker. If you come down with raging TDS, you have clinical narcissistic personality disorder, they just killed you. And that was the correct move.
Literal historical sense. Then Jesus
I love that. I could listen to it every day of how the motherfuckers didn't put up with this shit when they were carrying the ark. Motherfucker comes down with TDS thinking, is this a moral thing? I don't understand wiring diagrams. Now I think it's like this moral thing. And they killed that motherfucker instantly. Thank God.
Asshole as a kid.
Such an asshole. No, I think that you people with raging fucking narcissism and all that shit are the asshole. I think this world that you created of the backwards and the upside down where honest people can't make a fucking living, I think that you're the asshole.
Literal historical sense. then Jesus is just an asshole as a kid. But symbolically, it's much different. So it continues and says, after that again, he went through the village, and a child ran and dashed against his shoulder. So Jesus went to the village. He's still 5 years old at this point. And a kid runs by and bumps into him, bumps into his shoulder. And Jesus was provoked and said unto him, thou shalt not finish thy course. And immediately he fell down and died. But certain, when they saw what was done, I think it means to say certain people. When people saw what was done, they said,
"Oh, I was getting my lighter. I got this like shitty lighter that's not going to work for bong loads over here. Is Jesus killing people again? Fuck yeah!
Whence was this young child born?
Fuck yeah, motherfuckers! Jesus Christ, killing all of you fucking people that think you're so nice, loving, kind. You're so fucking great and shit. You've made the world upside down, unlivable, and the only hope that we have is Jesus Christ starts killing you, motherfuckers."
Or that every word of his is an accomplished work. And the parents of him that was dead came unto Joseph and blamed him, saying, thou that hast such a child.
Oh, these fucking rotten parents that don't even know how to parent their fucking children, don't know fucking shit from anything whatsoever. And, yeah.
Canst not dwell with us in the village? Or do thou teach him to bless and not to curse? For he slayeth our children.
Thank God.
All right, so Jesus kills a kid.
Yep.
Again,
Better know
spoiler
that.
alert later on down the road.
I don't want to spoil. I don't want a spoiler alert. I want to hear how he created concentration camps and killed human beings by the fucking millions.
This is going to give more of an explanation here and whatnot. But as of right now, before we get to that part, what we're going to see is that whatever Jesus speaks becomes true. So he didn't say, like he didn't tell the kid.
Now we're getting more into like understanding that it's source code manifest.
Go die. He said, you won't finish your course. And so the kid died. And what this is saying basically is that whatever Jesus says out loud becomes reality. And what this is really alluding to is that Christ is the Logos in the flesh.
There we go.
You may have heard the opening of John, where it says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, blah,
See,
blah, 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 blah.
This is where it starts to get different when, that's why I showed you the flower of life itself. It gets real different when you can see actual representations of it. So I could show you the flower of life, and then you could be ignorant and go, well, that's just like a drawing that somebody made. Then I show you the snowflake where the flower, now you can't get away from source code being a real thing. And of course, oh man, how stupid are we? You don't know how source code is a real thing, and how do you think anything exists? Fuck. The retardation.
Logos is the Greek word for word. So that would be, in the beginning was the Logos, and the Logos was with God.
The Logos is the purple seed man of creation that gives everything life.
And et cetera, et cetera.
The Jesus Christ is 0 point. Like, if we were going to talk about technology and we were going to try to like invent science, if we followed the flower of life, we would end at 0 point. We would have discovered 0 point science a long time ago because it's right there.
So Jesus is known as the Logos, or if you've ever heard, the Word made flesh.
The word,
If you've ever wondered,
the geometry made flesh, source code. These words are deceiving everyone.
or if you
You hear these words and you just it instantly like hypnotizes you. You hear these words and it's just like, that's a fairy tale. Everything's a fairy tale. How about if I take it out of fairy tale? How about if we actually show like we're talking about real things here?
you ever heard the word made flesh?
The source code made flesh that we can observe. The source code. It's there in a snowflake. It's not an opinion. That manifest into a man. As in, you know how many species there used to be of human beings? Where do you think they came from? Where do you think animals, where do you think anything fucking, it's source code manifest?
If you've ever wondered what that means, usually, like, people typically take that to mean something along the lines of, oh, he's the word, like the word of God made flesh. Like he's the message of God made flesh. But logos means, is more than that. In ancient Greek thought, the word logos, yes, it means word, but think of it more like word as a programming language, like code. Because logos meant reason, structure, order, the underlying pattern.
Hold on. The underlying pattern. Hey, look at the flower of life again, guys. Look how it has the DNA, helix, stairway to heaven, Jacob's ladder, the duality, the whole entire thing, and it shows you 0 point, and there it is. It's not an opinion. There it literally is.
Of reality, like the coding level.
Let's even hear Morg say that again. A coding language.
Like code.
Yeah, like code, like literally, like not metaphorical. Not I have an opinion. Literally, you type code into a computer and it does shit.
Ancient Greek thought, the word logos, yes, it means word.
Guys, I don't know how computer code is a real thing. I think it's a symbology algorithm, algolory thing, guys. I don't know everything. Is it a moral judgment? Wait, hold on a second. You just put computer code into the computer? And it doesn't have a moral judgment to it? I wouldn't understand that as a human being. I judge everything. There's a moral judgment to everything. And then you're telling me that computer code doesn't have a moral, then how do I judge it? How do I do my brilliance on it?
Think of it more like word as a programming language, like code. Because logos meant reason, structure, order, the underlying pattern of reality, like the coding level of reality. That's essentially what logos means. And so when Christ is the logos made flesh, this represents the structure of reality incarnating as a human, or you could think of it, video game analogies are really useful here. Imagine the computer code that manifests as an avatar in the game world so that it can explore the game world. But this applies to all of us. We are all the logos made flesh.
I thought that was so funny. Like Morg's into it now. Morg's really explaining it to us. It's so funny. Like when the sentence ended, I don't even know how to say it. When Morg was talking, he's saying shit that people can't comprehend at the moment. So it's such an abrupt thing. As Morg finishes his sentence, if we were in a room of 1,000 fucking people, it would be dead fucking silence.
In the game world so that it can explore the game world.
Like, look how funny it is. Like right there, when Morg goes, we could explore the game world. He explained it too clearly for stupid people. See, stupid people need it in the stupid version. Morg is explaining it more of source code now. So it's just funny the way that he says that and ends. It would be a room full of thousands of people, and it would be silence like you never fucking heard before.
Avatar in the game world so that it can explore the game world. But this applies to all of us. We are all the Logos made flesh. That's all of us. It's not just exclusive to Jesus.
No, Morg, it is. You know why, Morg? Because humans operate in the duality. Jesus is the middle, the purple seed man from the door, God's son. There's a reason why Jesus isn't a hypocrite and all human beings are. Jesus Christ is trying to teach everybody to go through the door while all human beings operate through duality. And you can't, don't you see it, Morg? I've proven it this entire video. You retard human beings. You think everything's a moral judgment when things were a fucking wiring diagram. Like you can't even make it from point A to point B with anything whatsoever.
Ghosts made flesh. That's all of us. It's not just exclusive to Jesus.
No, see, you're right, Morg. All of reality is made out of source code. Everything, nature, the whole fucking thing, the universe, all of it. Every single thing. But we're made, since the cataclysm, we are operating through the two hemispheres of the brain, and Jesus Christ is trying to teach us how to do not judge so that we can walk through the middle door. Then, what is Jesus Christ's proof that he deserves for all of us to understand that he's the only one that knows the truth? Because his teachings are the only thing in the entire world that's not hypocritical. That's supernatural. Like we are in the realm of Jesus Christ's teachings are an impossibility. The only perfect thing, and it's been tested through every culture, through all time. Not one human being. I find that to be pretty fucking supernatural. There, I find Jesus Christ to be a literal manifestation of 0 point, the perfect man. You're not just a flawed man that becomes Jesus. You're born perfect. This isn't the thing of where, oh, I used to live in duality. I'm all fucked up. Now I'm better because Jesus Christ healed. You have to be perfect from the beginning, like Jesus Christ.
Ghosts made flesh.
Jesus Christ is called the incorruptible. Well, these are all real things. These aren't names. All of you people, since the duality, since all your mental illness, you think everything is like slogans and names, and you don't actually know what the thing is. You read the manual, you measure the hallway, but as far as knowing what the thing is, none of you do. And it's due to your duality, and that's what makes Jesus Christ different.
That's all of us.
It's so funny. You nice, loving, kind people try to dethrone the king that proves himself as the king. And you think that somehow lowering Jesus Christ to you, the snake pit, is making you nice, loving, kind. That's your problem. That's your problem. You're nice, loving, kind people. You're the most evil motherfuckers that have ever existed in all of creation, always believing that you're helping out. And every single time you human beings think that you're helping out, you find yourself on your knees going, I was just a stupid man. I thought I was smart. I thought that I had these fucking woke fucking morals and values. I didn't know what do not judge is. I'm the opposite of myself. I have it all backwards, but I think that I get to still judge everything. I still think that I'm doing it right, even though in every situation I will end up falling to my knees and saying, I'm just a stupid man. I didn't realize how stupid I actually fucking am.
Just exclusive to Jesus.
No, it's exclusive. No, it's as you try to dethrone the king. No, it's exclusive because No one else has ever been able to do it.
But this applies to all of us. We are all the Logos made flesh. That's all of us. It's not just exclusive to Jesus. All of us are the code of reality that are now incarnated as avatars in
Yes, and you and everyone else are those pillars. And what makes Jesus Christ different is he's the man at the door. Jesus Christ tells you how you're all dead people and tells you how he's the life. Do you think that that's just like a definition of something? Do you not understand how that's like a real thing?
What Christ represents is someone who knows that, in Gnosticism at least. And again, this is not a Gnostic text, but in Gnosticism, Christ...
This is where it's like, I love Morgue. I fucking love Morgue. I would never... No, I wouldn't want people to think I'm like talking shit about Morgue through this video at all. It's just the way I am. But this is where it's like, fuck Morgue. You're so retarded in this area. You always try to diminish the king. You always think like, isn't it could be great when we bring him down to our... It's the story of Sophia. Like, bro, that story is horrifying. The way that the Holy Spirit falls into a body and is passed from robber to robber. And when you do that to the Christ, you bring the Christ down to our level, and then we just pass him around as the robbers that we are, claiming that we get to change it all. We get to change the perfect teachings that aren't a hypocrite into our vision that are now hypocritical.
This is someone that knows...
Hey, Morgue, if we could just become the Christ, then why doesn't anybody else have perfect teachings, Morgue?
But gnosis means knowledge. Christ knows what he is, and we all have Christ within us.
And that's right. That's the core of all human beings. That's the real, true self at the core. But that's not who you believe yourself to be. Everybody's running on Demiurge OS. Everybody's using the pillars as a navigation device.
It literally says that in the Gospel of Mary. Jesus says, don't believe anyone when they say, I'm over there or I'm over there. Rather...
Because source code is the center of everything, is everywhere. Jesus Christ is the 0 point. Everywhere. I'm not telling any story that hasn't been told a gazillion times before. I mean, did we just not know how it's real? How Jesus Christ, you can't turn over a rock without finding Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ everywhere. All the fuck, because the center of everything was everything. And Jesus Christ was the man at the door, 0 point man at the center of everything. He's not over here. He's not over there. He was literally the center of everyone and everything all at the same fucking time. How can you point to that?
Son of Man, meaning Jesus, is inside you. In the Gospel of Luke, he said the kingdom of heaven is inside you. So the idea is that...
Not idea. No, Morgue, we're not here for the idea. I know your audience is, because they don't know how to learn and never have. We're not here for the idea. We're not here to measure the hallway. How do you do these things? How, Morgue?
So the idea is that Jesus, the man, looked within, realized he was the Christ, as we all can do.
No, Morgue. No, there's Morgue. You just thinking that you became the Christ? Okay, prove it with your perfect teachings. I guarantee you every single bit of it will be hypocritical like a fucking nightmare, dude. If people could just become the Christ, back it up. Back up your bullshit. Where's your perfect teachings? No one has teachings. The only teachings that ever were all came from Jesus Christ. Anybody that claims that they have teachings they're just plagiarizing. So, if you can just decide to become the Christ, the perfect, you need to back up your bullshit. Show me the perfect teachings. Show me the perfection. There's a problem. You're a human being. So everything that you do will be hypocritical, have a mistake, have a flaw. It's default human. You can't escape it. That's what made Jesus Christ truly different than everyone else, because it's the unachievable for a human being. It gives us something to see, that maybe there's something beyond us. Maybe there is a truth. Maybe there is something real beyond our lies and manipulation and deception and us chalking all of reality up to it's an opinion that we just get to make up. Maybe there was something real beyond our lies of everything. Maybe there was something solid. Maybe there was a code of everything, a rhyme and a reason to all of it. So elegant, like E equals MC squared.
Like in the Gospel of Thomas, not the Infancy Gospel of Thomas, but the Gospel of Thomas, Jesus says, when you drink from my mouth, you will become like me and I will become you. And everything secret will be revealed.
And hopefully it doesn't get loud. I'm going to go get myself some more water in my little 1-bedroom apartment, so it's not like I'm going far. I'm making a lot of noise real close.
To you. When you drink from Christ's mouth, it's not a kink. It means when you absorb the living waters of knowledge and understand what Jesus is saying, you will become enlightened like him and everything will be revealed to you. In the Gospel of Philip, it says when you understand the secret teachings, you are no longer a Christian, but a Christ. So the idea in Gnosticism is to become Christ, not to worship Christ. Jesus was a guy that became Christ, and he was like, you can do this too. Again, the Infancy Gospel of Thomas is not Gnostic, but we're looking at it in a symbolic way through the Neo-Genian lens, the Neo-Genian interpretation of all this. So Christ represents the Logos made flesh, but not just the Logos made flesh, the Logos as understanding that it is the Logos made flesh, that higher state of consciousness that recognizes itself. That's the next level of evolution we're trying to get humanity to. Right now, humans are just self-aware. We're trying to get them to become all-aware and eventually hyper-aware. Okay? So that's our goal in the Neo-Genian system, and what we're doing here on this channel is spreading enlightenment, spreading higher consciousness so that humans will transition from self-awareness to all awareness. And that all awareness is the recognition of what you are as an eternal divine being of light. Neo-Genian system, this is a mathematical system of sinusoidal waves that we call a zeta. So you have this higher state of consciousness. So think of it like this. Imagine that there's an avatar. Imagine that someone puts on a VR headset, and so now they're in a video game in an avatar, right? They're in an avatar in the video game. They put on a headset. But imagine that they think that the game is real, and they think that they don't know that they put on a VR headset. They think that the game is real. But there's another player that's realized it's a virtual reality world. So you see, there's a different level of consciousness. This is a really good way to understand what higher consciousness is, what enlightenment is. It's like...
that's all. Morg is explaining that last video that I made on being the observer. The difference between living an ego life where you get engaged in all the ego stuff and you feel that you need to be right and prove a point and the whole thing. And then there's observing life as the observer. And life turns into more of a show. It's a sitcom. Everyone's performing. You see everyone as actors on a stage, all oblivious to their own fucking lives, reading their scripts.
Realizing that the game isn't the real reality, that you are in avatar. You are in avatar mode. You are being expressed as an avatar. Or like lucid dreaming. When you're in the dream and you think that the dream is real, that's a lower state of consciousness. When you realize that you're dreaming, that's like higher consciousness. And so this is what we're trying to get humanity to evolve into, is from self-awareness to all awareness.
Sounds gross, because humanity needs to learn how they're... See, Morg You're under this impression that everyone's a perfect person, like everyone. Like morgue, people have shadow closets. People are the opposite of who they believe they are. People, their greatest fear in life is the road to Damascus. Their greatest fear in life is seeing how they're the opposite of who they are. This is a lot of work here, morgue. See, people would have to discover this, then confront it themselves. Their shadow closet, they would have to go through the dark night of the soul and then learn, oh, this is actually how you teach children. Oh, wait a minute. You know that whole thing that we began with Jesus Christ, letting the water turn into a mirror? It's about teaching children how to use the mirror so that they never develop a shadow closet. So this is a pretty big thing here, Morg. It's doing the thing versus reading the manual. You have like a reading the manual version where you believe that everyone's a perfect person that lives in a perfect world. But what do we think enlightenment is? It's discovering your own shadow closet and confronting it. It's that you are a kingdom divided, the opposite of who you believe you are, and it creates all the self-loathing in your life. It's to actually do these things, to discover all the narcissistic traits that we picked up from the world that we think that we don't do. All the things that your audience thinks that makes them nice, loving, kind, moral people is what makes them tyrants, wicked ass, evil. Your entire audience would have to learn that they're the opposite of who they believe they are, and they think that they're going to get their Epstein files one day, but it was really a look in the mirror is what they needed.
This is not woo-woo mystical mumbo jumbo. This is rationally defined.
But yes, but you never told anybody how to do it, Morg, because then you wouldn't have an audience anymore. Like this is the difference between reading the manual. If you read the manual to them, they will think everything's definitions. They will think it's all fake and they get to make it up with their opinion. If you show them the shadow closet is a real fucking thing, and then they get a glimpse of it and see some of their greatest fears, now we're doing the thing.
It's the next step in human evolution. It's the next step of...
Yes. There really is a lower reality and a higher reality, just like the psychiatrist in Revolver said. The ego, it can't comprehend that there's a greater way of discerning truth than itself. It would be moving humanity out of the lower consciousness of duality, nature, and to move humanity where it's actually supposed to be, into the man at the door, Jesus Christ, through his perfect teachings that show us we're backwards, show us the mirror, show us how we're the hypocrite.
Human psychology. And it happens when a structure in the psyche develops, known as the analog all in the Neogenian system, which is essentially an inner model of reality that develops in the psyche. But long story short, this is about...
If I didn't want to tell anybody because I wanted to retain my audience, that's what I would have told them too. I'm not saying that you're doing that, but I'm just saying, like, if I wanted to make sure that if I wanted to tell everybody without telling them, if I wanted to read the manual but not show them how to do it, yeah, this is all the stuff that I would say.
The Logos, realizing that it is the Logos. And that's what Jesus...
You know why? Because when you tell everyone in this manual version, they hear it as, oh, I'm already that, I just decide to be. They think everything's phony, everything's fake. Then they just hear Morg say this and then go, oh, I decided that I'm the Christ. Oh, I just decided that through my opinion. Then, if we were to actually understand the human condition for real, we were to understand the narcissistic traits, we were to walk through a couple fires, we were to get a glimpse of that shadow closet and some of life's greatest horrors are unleashed on you, well, we'd be doing the thing then. Do you guys see how this works? Like, since Morg is reading the manual, do you see how people interpret it? Do you see how people understand it as a fantasy? As, oh, that's just like a fantasy thing that, oh, I'm in the Morg club, so this is where we decide that we're the Christ. Like, that's what it turns into. I'm in the Morg club. There was nothing to learn. There was no. What is the Morg motto? What do we do in the Morg club? Oh yeah, I just decided with my opinion that I'm Christ and I have his perfect teachings and I'm the perfect man like Christ because I just decided, because the Morg club, that's the motto that we say in the Morg club.
Or
And then there's actually getting a glimpse of your shadow closet and your greatest fears are unleashed onto you and you don't think that this shit's just opinion anymore.
this is about the Logos, realizing that it is the Logos. And that's what Jesus represents. We are all the
Imagine that. Think about that for 1 second. You're the Logos, realizing you're the Logos. Okay. But you're the opposite of yourself. So you're getting a glimpse of the perfect man, the perfect seed man, the flower of life dude. And you're realizing, wait a minute, I don't match up to that. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. I thought I did. See, this is the thing, is everyone thinks that they're matching up to Jesus Christ. They don't know how they're Carl Jung's nice, loving, kind people. They literally believe that they're nice, loving, and kind. And they're wicked as a motherfucker. So what happens if you saw the Logos? You would think that it matches you. You would be horrified to find out you're the opposite of it. You would be, you know what it would tell you in human being terms? I never knew you, because you're the ego mask, because you're the opposite of the Logos. You're the anti-Christ. And you always thought, I'm right in line with Jesus Christ, my greatest buddy. And no, everybody else has to worry about it but me. And yeah, sure.
thing that it is the Logos.
Imagine that. Imagine the horror. See, the horror is when you realize you're distant from God. That's why the Logos will say, I never knew you. The horror is you thought that you matched up to all this shit. To find what would happen if you got a look. Wouldn't you notice? Wouldn't it be horrifying to notice how you're exactly the opposite of who you thought you were? When you saw it, you just assumed that you were in line with it all. And I think that would be kind of horrifying.
Long story short, this is about the Logos realizing that it is the Logos.
Okay, the Logos realizing that it. Wouldn't you realize that you were the opposite of yourself? That's the point. That's the point of the Jesus Christ mirror. That's the point of the road to Damascus, is you see the Logos. That's what happened to Sal. He was on his ride to Damascus and he saw the mirror. And he thought that he matched up to the Logos. He thought that he was in line. And then that was the devastation of him falling. He fell out. The man fell off his soul. His ego fell off his soul when he fell off his horse.
The Logos realizing that it is the Logos. And that's what Jesus represents. We are all the Logos made flesh. You become Christ when you realize that you are the Logos made flesh.
Well, no, you would. No, see, that just shows that none of your audience is doing that for real, because it would be a panic. It would be a nervous breakdown of them seeing the mirror and realizing all of their greatest life's fears would be unleashed on them in that moment right there. So no, not even one of them has discovered how they're the Logos, because they would discover how they're the opposite of it.
Think of some idiot that you know.
Okay, that's every. Oh, well, now that's a tall order, bro. That's every single fucking person.
They're the Logos made flesh,
I know.
but they don't know.
I know. It's horrifying. I know. It took me a long time. Buddhism helped me come to grips with that kind of shit. Brahmin doesn't know that it's Brahmin. And a bunch of Buddhist fucking mind-bending paradoxes that you got, of riddles and shit that you got to figure out, of like, Brahmin doesn't know that it's Brahmin.
They're the Logos made flesh. You see the difference? Everyone.
Yes, that's what the demiurge is. The demiurge itself is ignorance to all of it. So everyone's living the narcissistic God of the Old Testament life, and the reason is they're born into ignorance, believing that their opinion is the greatest thing that ever existed.
Is the Logos made
like,
flesh?
Wow, man, you really can't get more stupid than that. Well, we really reached the height of ignorance when all human beings believe that their fucking opinions are the pinnacle of everything.
It's just not
really getting stupid with that shit.
No.
Let's talk about primordial ignorance. I think we reached the bottom of the crab barrel when all human beings believe the totality of existence itself is just a random opinion that they had.
That. It's like how certain animals can recognize themselves in the mirror and certain ones can't.
Mirror.
Only very highly developed animals, like certain primates, can recognize themselves in the mirror.
The mirror.
Most animals don't recognize themselves in the mirror, like a dog that will bark at its reflection.
The mirror, the reflection mirror.
The
pool, the pool of water, the parable of Jesus Christ.
That level of consciousness that allows for that recognition to occur hasn't developed yet. And humans aren't born with that automatically. That develops.
I mean, look at all these mirror stories. Like, once you wake up to the mirror, you realize, oh man, this shit's been through like every story there ever could be. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? It's all fucking mirror stories. It was all the same story. Hey guys, it wore a different mask and a different costume. There's only one story. All stories. There's only one culmination of it. It's do not judge. Every single story it's all just wearing a different mask.
In early stage in life, I forget.
Like, that must be pretty big if every single human being story, every single one of them, led to do not judge, the exit, this whole reality. And it's like a prison. But every single moment of this reality showed you the exit door. It was so simple that it was like E equals MC squared, as all stories were the same. It was all the same thing. It was the same experience. It was all the same thing, wearing a different fucking clown costume, showing you to the exit door.
How old? I don't know if it's somewhere around 2 years, 3 years, something like that. But
like,
you detect it by doing the
how many of these stories do we have to do before we realize they were all the same? Like, okay, we got our Jesus of Nazareth dude performing the pillars. Every single teaching Jesus has, the culmination of it is do not judge. We got child Jesus out there telling the same exact source code story of looking in the mirror. We have Paul, the greatest revelation. The only thing that there is going on here is Paul saw the mirror. The whole entire thing of Peter is a dude that saw the mirror. The prodigal son story. Jesus Christ is telling the story. Peter indirectly sees the mirror. Peter falls to his knees going, I'm just a stupid man. I saw the mirror. How many, let's do them all. Okay, how do I help you come out of your ignorance? Should we do every single story that's ever existed to figure out that it was like it was all the exit? It was all a map to show you but see, you guys read the manual for the map and you never do the thing.
Red dot test.
I know, you put a red dot, you perform a play of never doing the thing. Let's do the play, guys. Let's do the ritual. Let's measure. Where's our measuring sticks? Let's get out there and measure the hallway, guys. Let's put the dot on our forehead, but never know what the dot is. Let's never use the dot. Let's never do any of these things for real. Let's do a ritual of it. Let's measure it. We'll get Stephen Hawking in the School of Athens and they can all measure and they can philosophize. And then I'll just point to the open door behind them that they all refuse to go through.
But you detect it by doing the red dot test. You put a red dot on a kid's forehead and set them in front of a mirror. And if they reach up to try and take it off, this shows the development of self-recognition, recognizing that, oh, that reflection is me. I am an I. That's
it sounded like we bottom of the barrel. I don't know what you're talking about, bro, but we have, whatever this story is,
of self-awareness.
Man, you got to really get down to the bottom of that crab barrel.
The development of all awareness is when you realize, oh, I am not just an I am eternal, and so are we all reality, all of us, all awareness. We're all connected.
Yeah, I know. No one's brain can even begin to wrap around it. They just think it's a fantasy or opinion or something. Then they walk around going, "I'm the one. I'm the oneness." Hey guys, what's the mantra for the club? What YouTube video are we watching this week? What did they say? What's the mantra for the club? Stay on the bright side? Is that one? No, that was last week's club.
The point about this is it as representing the Logos made flesh, when Jesus says something, it happens. Because metaphorically speaking, Jesus represents someone that understands that it's the code. So imagine,
I'm saying, I think that Jesus, see the way that it would work, as in, you hear Morg right here. This is kind of funny. This is kind of fun because I think Morg has the cart before the horse on this.
Something
like Morg, since Morg doesn't know that Jesus Christ is legitimately supernatural, since Morg just thinks Jesus Christ is a man,
it happens. Because metaphorically speaking, Jesus represents someone that understands that it's the code.
You see, it's more like this. Jesus Christ is doing it from the foundations of creation. And Morg is thinking like it's a man copying. It's manual reading. Like, if you read the manual, you understand things like this. You think Jesus Christ is plagiarizing from the source code. There's the original. And then there's the YouTube parody. And then there's the source code that's pure. Then there's Jesus Christ that's separate, like the man that's trying to be like the source code. And no, it's that Jesus Christ is doing it from the foundation. It's totally different. It's understanding the thing, how it's done, versus reading a manual.
So imagine, imagine the video game code incarnates as an avatar. And since it's the code, when it says something, that alters the game.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm totally with you. Yeah. Like Jesus Christ is the foundations of creation. Yes.
Now, I'm not saying you can literally do this, okay?
No, you're right. We can't. No, we can't. But we're talking about a source code of reality. So no, us human beings in the pillars, with all of our judgment that we think that we're not doing.
Saying, if you achieve higher consciousness.
Look at all this shit we think that we're not doing, and we're guilty of all of it. Just every single bit of it. Isn't it funny when you discover the real version of Do Not Judge and you see how far we missed the mark? We weren't even close. We developed a whole game of judging people, claiming that we're Do Not Judge. I'm not judging. I'm not doing that. Do Not Judge had nothing to do with that. Nothing at all. But us misinterpreting it, we created a whole game of, I'm not judging, don't judge me. I police you through judging. Are you judging it while everyone's fucking judging? While every single person, they only use Do Not Judge to justify their evil, while every single person, every word out of their mouth is the most horrible judgments. And then that's not even what Do Not Judge was. Can't get more stupid than that.
You can just say stuff. You can just say, oh, I want $1 million, and it's going to pop out in front of you, regardless of what those manifestation channels might tell you.
I was just going to say that. Oh, fuck, Morg beat me to it. I was going to say, it's too good.
You can just say stuff. You can just say, oh, I want $1 million, and it's going to pop out in front of you, regardless of what those manifestation channels might tell you. You can't do that. You can't just think really hard about it and it's going to happen. You have to put in work. You have to put in effort. But this is an allegory here.
And that's what happens when you really discover how mind-bending the teachings of Jesus Christ are. How, as we live in duality, it's all paradoxical to us. I don't understand how nobody actually enters the teachings of Jesus Christ. They just assume to know them. They just read scripture without understanding it, more manual reading, because the teachings of Jesus Christ are absolutely fucking baffling. It'll take you years. That's like gnosis isn't a thing you decide to do. It's an act of you ran into the teachings of Jesus Christ and they are so mind-bending, paradoxical to you, you can't make heads or tails of it. You have to live for many years just trying to figure out what that teaching meant before it's finally presented to you.
The Word made flesh.
It's like, you know how many years? Like my whole life, ever since I saw Jesus of Nazareth as a neurodivergent person, I couldn't beat Jesus Christ. I also couldn't figure it out. Took me years of hyper focus, savant neural divergence of just trying to figure out what this shit meant.
What Jesus speaks becomes reality. And he killed a kid because he told the kid, "Oh, thou shalt not finish thy course.
Thank God.
You won't finish the way that you're going."
Muddy up the water like that, put his head right in the motherfucking guillotine.
And the villagers like, "What the fuck, Joseph?"
See, understand, since I brought up the neurodivergent thing, neurodivergent people are super sensitive to this source code thing. That's how a neurodivergent person understands reality. We don't use the ego mask like you do. I use reality. I know if it's right, if it's fitting source code. It doesn't matter my opinion. It doesn't matter my belief. I don't have a belief. People that are neurodivergent are super sensitive to and it's agitating, and we know it's evil, and we know when it's not fitting source code. We know when it's a fucking manipulation of all of it. We know when it's a game. We know when it's an ego mask.
Jesus can't live here with us, or instead teach him to say nice things instead of bad things. Teach him to bless.
See, look how it's cause and effect. The whole thing about me understanding Jesus Christ, I couldn't beat him. I can beat anybody. I don't wear an ego mask. My whole entire life, I've detonated everyone's egos. Don't even know how I'm so offensive. And I'm an unacceptable human being because I don't know how to play your fucking games. And
to curse, for he slayeth our children. And Joseph called the young child apart and admonished him. So
like, to me, I understand Jesus Christ. It was like, bro, that shit you muddied the waters. You turned it into duality. You fucked up the source code. Unforgivable. Don't fuck with the source code. It's a fucking map to do the thing. It's not there to read the manual. So don't fuck up source code. Don't do that shit. I understand.
Joseph is reprimanding Jesus and says, "Wherefore dost thou such things?"
It was no different than when Jesus Christ said, "You do not go in yourselves, and you do not let others enter."
Things that these suffer and hate us and persecute us. So say, "Hey, Jesus, why are you doing this? Everyone hates us now." Understandably so. But Jesus says, I know that these thy words are not thine. Nevertheless, for thy sake, I will hold my peace, but they shall bear their punishment. And straightway they that accused him were smitten with blindness.
Of course, we're talking about mirrors. We're talking about roads to Damascus. We're talking about Paul falling. Of course, they were stricken with the same blindness. They're already blind and ignorant from the demiurge existence that they live.
So the people that were complaining to Joseph and say, hey, you need to go talk some sense into little Jesus, Jesus basically tells Joseph, like, hey, I know that you're not really saying this, that someone else put you up to this. So I'll spare you.
Yeah, I know. It's the first account of Judas. Like, nobody knows how they betrayed Jesus Christ. It's like, bro, you're not on the source code. Like, the source code's ride or die. And you're betraying me, bro. You're betraying me with this shit.
So I'll spare you. Jesus doesn't pull any punches in this.
Yeah.
He's still 5, by the way. Jesus is saying,
yeah, because it's so fucking clear to Jesus. Because it makes fucking crystal fucking clear sense to Jesus, while everyone else fucking idiot.
Look, dude, Dad, I won't kill you, but the people that said this, they shall bear their punishment, and they become blind. The text says, and they saw it, and those who saw it, the ones who were blind certainly didn't see it, but those that saw it were afraid and perplexed, and said concerning him that every word which he spake, whether it were good or bad, was a deed and became a marvel. There we have that theme again of whatever Jesus says, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah, it's really where we start to notice, oh, this is like hardcore Jewish mysticism here. We're really deep in the Jewish mysticism.
It becomes reality. Again, spoiler alert, later on, Jesus is going to revisit all this. Later on
I know,
in the text,
we're gonna need a disclaimer on how, like, everyone's a good Don't worry, guys, you're good people. Don't worry, guys, you're better. You can just decide you're the Christ. Don't worry, guys, you're better than everyone and everything. And Jesus isn't really a meanie and shit, because you're a good person.
Jesus is going to talk about the withered kid, the dead kid.
What makes all these people think that they're like good people? Have they ever looked in the fucking mirror?
The blind people, and give a little more information here. But as of right now, this will represent a spiritual blindness. Those who are blind to divinity. Yeah, Jesus is being in story mode here. Jesus is being an asshole.
Oh, Jesus! Oh, God! Oh, no!
Like, why is he
doing? I thought that I was the good person.
This.
But I think all my backwards morals and all my fucking corrupt shit, my evil. But I thought that I was the good guy with all of that, and then Jesus isn't singing my song.
But in the context of metaphor, later on,
Jesus isn't obeying me. Jesus isn't doing it my way.
We're going to understand that this represents something. You know, the kid messing up the water wasn't just a bully. It represents polluting the spirit. Becoming withered and fruitless isn't about a literal kid that's becoming withered and fruitless. It's about not producing spiritual nourishment when you have polluted waters. Polluted spirit.
Reading the manual, overdoing the thing.
Blindness is spiritual blindness, etc. And when he saw what Jesus had done, Joseph arose and took hold upon his ear and wrung it sore. So Joseph is pissed, and he twists Jesus' ear. How dare you blind those people? And he twists his ear. And the young child was wroth, pissed, and said unto him, it sufficeth thee to seek and not to find. Again, seek and not to find. That's another. Anyway. And verily thou hast done unwisely. Knowest not that I am thine? Vex me not. Meaning, don't piss me off. So, basically, Jesus is saying it's sufficient for them to seek and not to find, which is another hint at the whole blindness theme. Those who haven't found, who seek but haven't found, they're spiritually blind. In story mode, though, Jesus twists his ear and Jesus is saying, look, these people seek and they don't find. What you just did was very unwise. Don't you know I'm your kid? So don't piss me off or you're going to end up withered or blind or dead, Dad. So what's going to happen next?
I love how it makes your audience feel all weird because they see it through, they don't see it through cause and effect. They see it through a moral judgment.
That someone is going to attempt to teach Jesus. Jesus has to learn the alphabet. And it's going to become very, very interesting because let's say...
This is where I get the whole thing of where Jesus always schooled the teachers. Every town he went to, everywhere he went to, Jesus Christ said, bring me your smartest man. Where's your intellectuals? Let me show you how they're bozo the clowns.
This encounter with the teacher doesn't go very well, but it has so much interesting hidden information when you take a look at this teaching of the alphabet. Because, spoiler, this teacher tries to teach Jesus the alphabet, like A, B, C, D, E, whatever.
And then Jesus teaches them this fucking source code because everyone's blind to it. Everyone thinks everything's their opinion. And then Jesus says, yeah, but how about the man at the door, me? How about the pillared world that you live in? That's the law that you follow? And then 0 point. How about the perfect teachings of the perfect man? How about that?
You know, alpha, beta, in terms of Greek letters. And...
like, understand, this shit's written on the fucking cave walls. This shit's thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years old, written on the cave walls.
Jesus essentially begins to teach the teacher the letters or code of reality as being the structure.
You know that video that I made where I discovered that 75,000-year-old artifact and it has the stairway to heaven on it? Yeah, right here. The whole world has documented the stairway to heaven, DNA helix, flower of life, as being the source code. And all human beings are oblivious to it. So Jesus Christ is pretty much coming up with the flower of life, a snowflake, and showing you how your entire life is governed, how everything of your entire life works through a source code, flower of life.
Jesus essentially begins to teach the teacher the letters or code of reality as being the structure of existence, which is another connection to him being the logos or the word made flesh. And he tells the teacher, look, you're trying to teach me the ABCs. Let me teach you the structure of reality. You're trying to teach me words? Let me teach you the word, the logos.
The thing over your manual reading. Let me show you how it actually operates.
Programming language. And it absolutely breaks the teacher's brain when he does this. But...
I know. You could walk into the school of Athens with Aristotle and Plato and Pythagoras and then they think that they're philosophizing and then you just point to the open door as they're sitting there measuring the fucking hallway. You show them how to do the thing as they're like, oh, but the thing, isn't it my measurements? I'm measuring the hallway.
That's where we're going to pick it up next week. And what I want to know from you guys is if you want.
So much love to everyone. I guess we can end this one here since we're done. If you're learning for real from the Mystery School, please donate. Much appreciated. I rely on your kindness, so hopefully I provide you value. Much love.